Hello all. Welcome in to a different sort of stream today, and I do have a guest, UDUC. She is with me in VC, and Nick was also supposed to be here, but had to head out at the last second. Maybe he'll be back, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see, hopefully, but we are going to discuss, even if it's just UDUC and I, and you, of course, via the chat. You can let me know, and hello, everyone. I will get to you all in a sec. But we're going to talk about the Mario movie, and it will be spoilers. I want to let you know now. No topic is taboo here. If you want to talk about the plot in detail, we can talk about the plot in detail. Yes, that does spoil the movie if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen the movie and you're one of those people who's like, I can't in all good conscience ruin the experience, then please don't watch. You can watch it later if you want, after you've seen it, whenever you plan to see it, but don't risk spoiling it for the sake of this stream. Just don't do it. I enjoyed the movie, and if I had spoilers, it wouldn't have been as fun. If you know the end of a movie, it's just... It kind of... I love Star Wars, for example, but Episode 5, when it was like, I am your father, I knew that was coming because everything I grew up with referenced it. So it's like, I don't want to ruin it. So there will be spoilers, but I hope to have a good discussion about it. There are multiple things I want to talk about it. I want to gauge your opinions on it. I think maybe a poll would be interesting too at different points. UDUC, if you can think of ideas on the way, or anyone out in chat. Esky, hello, I see you too. Goodbye, Esky, though. I think you have to go. Hi, Esky. But yeah, I think we could do some polls if we come up with devices. Maybe UDUC and I, or if Nick joins again, we get in a debate about something. You could all help us settle those topics. And outside of that, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, UDUC's thoughts on it. I'm excited to share some of my thoughts on it and see if people find me crazy or if they agree. And in the meantime, the final point is, yes, I will be doing some Mario Kart in the background. It is not Time Trial Thursday, don't worry. This is not replacing Time Trial Thursday. I just, for the discussion, I was thinking I could just, have it be Mega Muggz the whole time and some people on VC and we just talk. But I think just a track like Excite Bike for me that I have put a lot of time into, but not recently. I haven't really time trialed it much at all lately. I don't intend on getting a PB even. I just want to get reacquainted with the track, which I can do casually while discussing the movie and just kind of have it on in the background. So that's the whole plan. Other than that, welcome in everybody. I see all of you. I'll go really quick here. Landon, Don from Mapping, UDUC, Speedman, Aubrey, Radical Honey Badger Gamer, Von El Diablo, Kirby Corey. Yes, exactly, Donfun. You got it. If you've seen the movie, you don't want spoilers. You're going to want to leave now, unless you're okay with spoilers. I know a couple people who are totally fine with spoilers, but if you're not one of those, you want to get out of here. Waffles, hello, how's it going? Jay, welcome in. Jose, hello, Jose, how's it going? Beef, oh, it's Santi. Hello, how's it going? Beef, a.k.a. Santi. Esky, as I said, hello. Landon, did I say hi to you? Hello. Oh, Stitches, no, Landon. I hope you're okay. Stitches is a good sign in a way, because it means it wasn't, it wasn't the worst it could have been, right? It wasn't like you had to get a bone replaced. I don't know medical stuff. Marluigi Gamer, what's up? I will post about the tournament later today. I did ask a question. I don't think last I checked I got many responses, but that'll inform my decision. Dez, hello, Dez, how's it going? Who did I miss? GM1, hello, GM1. I might have said hi to you already. And I think that is everybody. Flower King as well. Hello, Flower King. How are you doing? All right, UDUC, I am done blabbing on. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. I talked about the movie after I saw it, which was a little over a week ago. But some of my thoughts have sort of changed and evolved over time as I've, given it more thought and processed it more. So I'm kind of excited to get into the discussion about it and kind of see where everyone's opinions lies on it.
Same. And in fact, I'm going to just start off with a poll, a very general poll. We'll adjust them and they'll get more specific at times. But I'm very curious, just in the general audience here, did you like the movie? In fact, I can do 4 sections on the poll, so I'll make it even more specific. But you let me know.
Speedman says that VC audio is really bad. Oops.
Oh no. I wonder if I could fix that. The VC audio is bad.
It might just be that my audio is really bad. I don't really have a microphone, unfortunately.
Ah, okay. Um,
But then again, Sweetman's, played with us before, so.
true. Anyone, if anyone has any like feedback about the audio, let me know. And it's not a perfect scale. I'm not making them, totally discrete sets here. It's just a rough guess. Vote away. The VC audio really bad. I don't think you can replace a bone. I agree.
I mean, you could replace a bone with, like, a metal part, I guess.
Yeah, you could do that, but not with another bone.
That would be a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
People tend to need those.
Yeah, bones are pretty important, and I'm not sure that, yeah, you would be able to find, like, a bone donor. You can have my femur. I don't think so. Oh, okay, but Jose says the audio is fine now. But Jay says it's kind of muffled, but Jose says it's fine. And see, Eski, have a good one.
I'm going to try and speak a little louder then and see if that helps. And if it doesn't, I don't know what else there is I can do on my end. Yeah, the microphone.
Fair. I do now I have your volume all the way up on Discord. And my computer volume is also all the way up. Okay, hopefully it's good. All right. Hey, my pen.
I try not to, mumble a lot. I feel like that's something I do sometimes.
All right. Well, I think I think on my end it sounds good enough, and if people can't hear, then we can adjust. Let us know. But like, yeah, Speed still says it's muffled. But if you can understand the words, that's at least better than nothing. That way, it's not just me rambling into nothing as well. I can have some discourse with UDUC.
Are you guys at the very least able to understand what I'm saying? Because that's like the bare minimum. If we can at least get that, then we're doing fine.
Okay, GM1 says it's clear enough.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's just get into the discussion, and if it does become, if it becomes a super annoyance for people, maybe we can try something. But I think it'll be good. And the first thing I want to say is, because I put out a poll just asking for the quality of the video as I'm going to start time trialing, kind of just subconsciously time trialing. By the way, I'm going to be rambling as I go, just trying to get the feel for the track down in the subconscious. But I enjoyed the movie. That's my first thought. In fact, I would also have it in the 7.5 to 10 out of 10 category. No joke.
Which I guess makes everyone unanimous on this.
Yes, that does make it unanimous so far, and we'll see if that changes. I mean, maybe people will come in and see that and be shocked and disagree, but I thought it was really good. Were there some, maybe, a couple things I would have changed? Yeah. I don't know, for example, that I love the tying in of the real world with the Mushroom Kingdom Nintendo world, and how in the end the fight ultimately was brought to New York City. I didn't love that because it's like, first off, how many people were crushed when Bowser's ship teleported in or whatever? Or whatever, and my memory's a little foggy. But, they come bursting through the portal and, like, some buildings get destroyed. That's kind of sad. And it's like, in my opinion, I almost actually thought when the Bullet Bill was heading for the pipe that Mario came out of, that it would just destroy it and Mario and Luigi would be permanently stuck in the Mushroom Kingdom world with no way back, and I thought that would have been interesting. But they didn't go that way, and I could see how that could be sad too. It's like, well, now they're never going to see their family again. Point is, okay, I like the movie a lot. There are a couple things I could pick apart and say I would have done it differently. However, I was smiling the whole time. I genuinely laughed out loud at multiple moments, and that's not something that I do a ton in movie theaters. Like, I can be pretty tough in the movie theater, pretty stone-faced, and I was laughing. I thought there was some really cute... When Baby Peach came back through the pipe, I actually shed a tear at the cuteness level of it, and the sadness that she was lost, but then was found by these very nice, humble toads. I literally had teary moments. I laughed. I stared in awe and enjoyed the action. I applauded at the end. So to me, it was a success. I also saw that old, 1993 or whatever Mario movie. Didn't do it for me. It was goofy and weird. This actually, I thought, did justice to it, and so I'll just start there. I thought they actually honored Mario and the characters pretty well and connected the worlds pretty well. They still wanted to hold on to that Brooklyn plumber thing. I thought they did a fine job. I thought it was pretty good. I also feel like it was short. It just flew by to me. 1 second I'm getting, you're getting into the Mushroom Kingdom, and the next second I feel like it's the climax at the end, and then it's over. It wasn't a long movie, but I thought they did a good job. Obviously, they're setting us up for sequels, so that's where I'm going to start it. What are your thoughts out there, and yours, UDUC?
So, I also voted for 7.5 out of 10. But I'm closer to the 7.5 range than I am to the 10, personally. The pacing was kind of an issue for me overall. It just seems like things just kept happening. There wasn't really a time to breathe at any point, which, it's sort of similar to the Mario games themselves in a way, but I don't know if it lends itself extremely well to, a movie setting. But that being said, I don't think it's by any means, a bad movie, right? There are some really not good movies out there, and this isn't it. It's not inoffensive. Well, no, it is inoffensive. It's not offensive.
Yep.
I saw some, Landon said that Baby Peach looks cuter than in the games, and I agree.
I agree with that.
Design in the movie, especially since in the games she's just Peach but small. I feel like a lot of the designs kind of work. I'm not super sold on all of them, but the dry bones look amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was some good animation, and before you go on, I was worried about that, and other people have worried about that because Illumination is apparently not, it's a little bit more of a low budget, I guess, studio, but I thought they did a good job. I thought that, the dry bones actually looked scary to me.
Yeah, I think the dry bones really good. The Fire Flower, I think, also looks super well made. And I also really like that Donkey Kong was able to just blow it out, and Mario was just never able to become Fire Mario in the entire movie. That was funny.
Yep. There was good humor overall, too. And again, it's not like world-breaking humor, but there's a lot of bad movies, like you said.
In terms of the humor, I learned after the fact, after the movie, that at the antique shop near the beginning of the movie, it was like, will it work? Yeah, you just gotta blow it. They're actually referring to an NES cartridge.
Yes!
I thought at first they were talking about a warp whistle, which would be like, you're saying this thing will take you to a far-off world? He's like, yeah, you just gotta blow it.
Nope.
Whistle.
Yep, it was the cartridge.
The NES cartridge, I think, also works. That's also a good novel.
Yes, I liked that. A little bit of self-deprecating humor on their end.
I don't know why there was an NES cartridge in the Mushroom Kingdom, because that's, a thing Nintendo made. But, I think it's funny. It works. It's not like they pay super close attention to it.
Right. And a couple.
The NES cartridge comes back, and it's crucial to the final boss fight.
Yeah, it was Easter eggy. Yeah, Easter eggy. But also a couple comments, like GM1 was saying, same, and also how everyone's just okay seeing these creatures. That was kind of jarring when they, Bowser appears in New York City, and the people are just they react, they're scared and stuff. But it's not like if Bowser appeared in New York City, or any kind of dinosaur-like creature wielding an army and super power-ups, that would be insane. So that was a little weird. I do agree, Des, that it did a good job embracing the source material. Landon, yeah, exactly. The New York City, again, I would have done it differently because it was sad to see the demolition, and then the reactions didn't really fit. How could you even get a proper reaction? And the sharing of an invincibility star, I guess you can do that now. Maybe if it's frame perfect in reality. It was down to the.
There is a mechanic in the new Super Mario Bros. Games, the Wii one and the Wii U one, where if someone with a star picks up someone who isn't invincible, or vice versa, the star effect will transfer to the other person.
Okay. So at least okay, that's fair then. And they're probably thinking about those games. They definitely were thinking about those games. They were thinking about all the games kind of when they made this movie. Yeah. So
they referenced like pretty much the entire main series at least.
Yep. And Dez has a good point about the bullet bill being directed into that pipe, because it is a little odd, and I guess someone pointed out to her, but yeah, it's kind of odd that Mario the hero would direct the bullet bill into a pipe that he knows could go right into Brooklyn.
Yeah, that felt weird. And also, you mentioned like, oh yeah, wouldn't the bullet bill just destroy the pipe and then they'd be stuck in the Mushroom Kingdom? I think that would have made more sense.
Yep.
As like what would actually happen.
Yeah.
I mean, when you destroy pipes in actual Mario games, it's not like everything gets sucked into them.
Yep, that was kind of weird too. I will give it that though. I was not expecting that. I again literally just expected it's going to blow up the pipe and it'll be gone and they'll be stuck there. But no, it created like a vortex that sucked a bunch of stuff. It was quite dangerous for Mario to attempt, actually. So I mean, it's I didn't really get that. I feel like that was kind of a big hole in it almost, because it's one of the things that was most important to the plot, but doesn't necessarily have any canon or Mario game references to my knowledge. And again, I haven't played all of them. Obviously, you were able to point out some games that I missed some star invincibility sharing powers in, but like, I don't know of any game where you blow up a pipe and it creates a vortex. That's just a new thing, right?
Yeah. The only thing I could possibly think of it referencing would be like the old TV series for some of the older Mario games, like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. But even then, I can't remember the time when something like that happened.
Oh man, the Mario Bros. Super Show. That's way deep in my memory then. But you are right in the sense that maybe there's a reference in there somewhere, but I would have to like dig for that. And by the way, we did get a couple other votes that aren't in the 7.5 to 10 range. We actually have some 3 to 5s and 1 to 3s for movie quality, which is interesting. I wouldn't. 1 to 3 is pretty harsh, but I guess maybe people really didn't like it.
Which actually makes me want to say that overall, I think that the Mario movie isn't a movie for people who like movies. It's a movie for people who like Super Mario.
Yes, I actually agree with that. In a vacuum, if I had no knowledge of Super Mario, I don't know what my thoughts would have been, actually. By the way, hello, Nicholas. I see ya. Nice, Nicholas. I know you're a fan of some of that 80s music. I can see that jiving with you. But no, I agree. Back to your point that if you don't know anything about I mean, how could you not know anything? But if you have virtually no knowledge, I don't really know that you would enjoy it as anywhere nearly as much. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, picture all those Easter eggs, right? That were referenced, like the SNES or the NES cartridges being blown into. If you never played Nintendo or video games at that time, you wouldn't even know what that is. A lot of the like Mario Kart references that people were talking about in the chat with like Ultra Mini Turbos and Super Mini Turbos and snaking. You don't know what that is if you've never played those games. You know, it might look kind of cool, but you don't see it as an Easter egg or like a reference. You're not like, hey, yeah, just like in the game. Same with a lot of how the pipes did work most of the time. Same with Bowser and the role that he plays in the series. Just everybody. Even there wasn't necessarily a ton of background on certain characters. I think they did a good job with Toad. You kind of get the idea that Toad is one of many, but it's an especially brave Toad, and that's good and all, but like, say Luigi, we actually didn't get you do get a bit of background on Mario and Luigi, but it's really quick. It's very fast paced, and if you don't have all that,
I think it was like one flashback scene with Luigi where it shows baby Mario standing up for baby Luigi, and that's it.
Yeah, there was that scene, and I thought that was a great scene. I thought it was very cute, and actually do wish there was maybe a couple more scenes like that. Or even if you put them at the beginning. But, they tried, I guess, with the restaurant scene at the beginning where Mario stands up for Luigi to that other, I don't know, plumber guy. Exactly. And so, okay, they're showing that they care about each other. They kind of show at the dinner scene how Mario and Luigi are both, in a sense, outcasts in the family at the moment, because they had this good job with this other guy, the Spike guy's business, and they gave it up apparently to start their own plumbing business. And they're wearing these goofy costumes, and they have the goofy commercial, but you can see that they're brothers who care about each other and are passionate for what they do. So they do try, but again, like you were saying, it all goes by in the blink of an eye. And if you do know all that Mario lore, and you have an idea of how heroic they both are and important, and how many games they appear in, and all the skills and abilities they have, and the relationships they have, and you bring all that knowledge into the movie, it doesn't even really matter. It didn't matter to me because I already had an idea, right? But if you don't have that, it is a little inaccessible, I think.
Yeah, and GM1 pointed out the randomly yelling blue shell. Someone who doesn't know the movie, or doesn't know the series, rather, has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And actually, about the randomly yelling blue shell specifically, for me, I kind of, I'm someone who's played so many Mario games. I played all the Mario Karts. And when that one Koopa Troopa randomly yelled blue shell, I was like, really?
Uh-huh.
You want to introduce that?
Yeah.
It kind of felt cringy to me. That was one of the misses.
It was definitely a miss because, as you said, nobody's going to get it anyway, except for the people who do play the games, and they're already going to get it without the explicit yelling of the word blue shell. They already know what a blue shell is. And for me, it was a bit of a surprise. Hey, Deadmate, by the way. Hey, Aurora, I think I saw you. Welcome in, Mario Luigi Gamer. Everybody, how's it going? And yes, I see your last message, Mario Luigi Gamer. Muggz VC about Mario movie. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I thought, there were, that was a good case where the reference is either going to be got or not. And it was weird to kind of, I didn't even think about that. How someone who doesn't, who's in the audience who didn't know what was going on, but then because the Koopa shouted blue shell, they were like, oh, okay. I don't think anybody, right? I mean,
I feel like it being a shell that is blue was enough for people who have some sort of knowledge to be able to pick it out.
Exactly. Right? So sure, that's a miss, definitely. But overall, I mean, it is a unique project, though, because then again, I guess video game movie adaptations do seem to be becoming a little more popular. But for Nintendo, this was obviously a big thing for them. I feel like they were indeed scarred by that 1993 live-action Mario.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it took them 30 years to make another Mario movie.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a big thing for them, and I do feel like there were times that they kind of did play it a little safer or did things that maybe don't make the most sense. But it's again, though, it was so inoffensive that it's hard to call it not a good movie because what was bad about it in the offensive way? We've all seen some of the movies lately, or even if I guess COVID kind of affected movies and stuff, but a lot of the streaming services have all those TV series too and stuff. In my opinion, a lot of stuff has gone downhill. I don't want to get into a totally different tangent, but after watching some of the recent releases, I was, and even seeing some of the previews, like the Trolls movie preview. Again, I don't want to get off tangent, but I was like, what is this Trolls movie trying to do? Again, maybe I just don't get Trolls as a franchise, but I've been cringing a lot at cinema and stuff, and this didn't make me cringe. I didn't leave the movie theater paralyzed from cringe, I left smiling, and I thought, you know what, that was a pleasant experience. And if I was a kid, like if I was 10 years old again when I was growing up with just the NES and the SNES and Mario was my hero and I just loved it, oh my god, I would have been insanely happy. I would have gone nuts at this movie. It would have made my life. I would have dressed as Mario or Bowser or Luigi or Princess Peach or Toad or Donkey Kong or Cranky Kong or anyone for the next... those would have been my next 5 Halloween costumes. And I still appreciate it as an adult.
If this movie came out 10 years ago, I would have been absolutely all over it. I would have rated it a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had no regrets about it.
Yep. Yeah, Nicholas, if you want a VC, you actually could join the VC, Nicholas, because you are... We're in Clan 1 in Excite Bikers. You still have access to that, Nicholas, if you have thoughts you want to weigh in on.
Yeah.
But,
to have you.
yeah, I would be very curious to hear some of your detailed thoughts on some of these points, because I do think it was a good movie, but there are aspects, and it's relevant because they clearly teased a sequel, right? Like the Yoshi egg at the end in Brooklyn. Can we all agree, UDUC, everyone out there, that they're teasing a sequel?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no doubt in my mind they're trying to push for a sequel, at least in terms of like, oh, we're gonna dip our toe in the water and gauge everyone's interest on this. There are a bunch of like things they could have done to like make the movie longer, I guess. Like they could have fleshed out more about Mario and Donkey Kong's issues with their dads. They could have focused more on Luigi. There are a bunch of Mario characters that just weren't in the movie at all, like Wario.
Yep.
And a bunch of the cast members have been saying, like, yeah, I totally want to do a sequel. I totally want to do a Luigi's Mansion movie or a Donkey Kong Country movie.
Yep.
And to me, it seems like part of the reason the movie was so short was because, well, A, they didn't want to screw up, and B, they want to do another thing in conjunction with it.
Yep. But it is interesting that by putting the Yoshi egg at the end, they seem to me to be heading in a Yoshi direction, which is interesting because Yoshi is one of the characters, like Wario. Yoshi technically was in the movie, right? There was like a cameo of Yoshi's like stampeding in the background at one point, and it's like, okay. But that's it. We never got Yoshi's after that. So to me, it seems like they're going to go a Yoshi's direction. Oh, gotcha, Nicholas, by the way. No worries. But yeah, it makes sense to me, too. Yoshi's a huge character in the franchise.
I mean, like, even if you look at the actual Mario games themselves, Super Mario Galaxy 1 had a reference to Yoshi, and Super Mario Galaxy 2 was built around it.
Yep. And even, I mean, think of, like I've been playing Super Mario World 2. Super Mario World was a huge SNES game. What was Super Mario World 2? It was Yoshi's Island, where the whole game you're a baby Mario riding on the back. I see, I'll check your DM, I'll check it real quick while I'm talking. You're a baby Mario on the back. I cannot VC, though. I'm already VCing, so I will say I cannot. But, Yoshi was kind of, since very early on, a staple character, and has, there's Yoshi series, like Yoshi's Woolly's World and stuff, that you got to go... Yoshi's Crafted World. You got to go the Yoshi direction, in my opinion. Yoshi's Story. There's so many out there. You got to go the Yoshi direction and give Yoshi some screen time. And they seem like they have committed to that, which makes the critiques, in my opinion, more important. And it does, maybe cover for the fact that the movie isn't super long and doesn't go into crazy in-depth detail about every single Mario thing, because maybe they have plans for 3 movies or something. And they're like, we're going to hold on to that for the second one or the third one. And, of course, we all know it could be the case that they're just winging it, which would be unfortunate. But you never know. There might be a plan. So I'm curious to see where it goes.
I'm kind of excited to see where it goes as well. Because, honestly, if they're able to take what made this movie good and then improve on the things that this movie faltered on, it would be a better movie.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of been my mindset with a lot of things, just in terms of uh, games and the, I guess, the culture around it, is that uh, I feel like striving to do better than the previous best is a good direction to go in, since then you're trying to, make something that's better than the sum of the parts and better than previous and improve.
Yep, exactly. And being better than the sum of its parts, I think, is a big key there too. Because once you do start serializing something, or making sequels and making it trilogies and so on, or making a whole cinematic universe, however you're going with it, you then have a bigger duty to have a plan, in my opinion, because your goal is to connect everything, right? And what's the point of connecting all the movies if, in the end, it just becomes, when maybe each individual movie is pretty enjoyable, but then when you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense with what happened 2 movies ago, and that's a huge plot hole that comes through in the 5th movie, and you have to take care of your characters and your story a lot more, to a lot higher of a degree, because everything should be connected. It should feel like a reasonable series of events that's going on in a connected world that feels like alive and interesting. And if you go that way, and again, if it's just one sequel, it's not as big a deal. But if they're going to make multiple movies like this, and they're connected, like in a trilogy or a cinematic universe type scenario, I really just hope they do that thing where you watch all the movies together and you end up feeling even more rewarded than you did in any individual viewing, because at the end everything kind of comes together and you're like, wow, it's crazy how everything was connected in such a logical way. Whereas sometimes I do that, I get into those universes and I watch a bunch of it and it's like, wow, each episode was good, but at the end everything feels so unreasonable and unrealistic.
Yeah. And I'm seeing Des mentioned the Kid Icarus reference at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Look at the game Mars by Miles, and yes, we made that. And I'm going to be honest, out of all of the references in the movie, the ones to non-Mario properties are the ones that I feel are the weakest. This is a Mario movie, right? And this isn't a movie for, people who like movies, as I said earlier. It's a movie for people who like Mario. And granted, there is overlap between people who like Mario and people who like other Nintendo series, but that doesn't mean that, oh yeah, the average Mario fan totally knows about Kid Icarus on the NES from 30 years ago. I know about it because I have an unhealthy obsession with a bunch of video games, but not everyone will understand that and they'll be kind of lost, like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that a bit. I do think it's on the weaker end. To me, that almost comes off as more of a hidden Easter egg that they're like putting in there in a scene where I can almost picture they're like, we need Mario to play some generic video game, and they're like, hey, why not play some retro game? And how about, I don't know how they got to Kid Icarus. I mean, I know Pit is in Smash and stuff. That's how I know of Kid Icarus. I had an NES, never played the game though, but.
I know Kid Icarus came out around the same time as Super Mario Bros., and it's a platformer like Super Mario Bros. Not like, oh, it's similar to Super Mario Bros., it's just, a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm not really sure. It could just be that it's like, oh, well, we're already putting in so many references, everyone's just going to learn about them all if they have deep enough knowledge about the Mario series. So let's do an even deeper cut and see how many people recognize that. And that will be like the super Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, it's like, why do that? It's just, they're missing most of the target audience in that regard.
Yeah. And Nick does have an interesting comment that he thinks it was because of how Mario was feeling at the moment, and then he references I'm finished, but I don't even remember that.
I can see that too, but I feel like if he was playing something like Super Mario Bros., which I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, that would be confusing.
If it was like Game Over, I feel like that would also work as well.
Yeah, Game Over, and that is in a lot of games actually. That's a pretty. I feel like that's been in since like the arcade games as a common screen. So they probably could have found a lot of other things. I don't know. It is certainly an interesting decision, and I do wonder even how much thought they themselves put into it. Deadmate, I was going Baby Mario, but then I saw the current world record was Baby Daisy, and I didn't know if the meta meant Baby Mario would be better, but I went to Baby Daisy. Hi, Zay, by the way. What's up? We're talking Mario movie a bit. I do have to search for War in like 2 minutes, so after this try, we'll also do that. It doesn't mean I stop talking, but anyway, I feel like we could maybe refocus on something, because, we've gone down some tangents, and there are some, like I mentioned in the pre-call here to you, do you see that, and Nick, before he left that, one of the things, darn you, Nick, but I'm one of the things I did want to mention, because I was very pleasantly surprised by how well Nintendo did with it, was the treatment of Bowser's character. And I'm actually, instead of doing another run, I'll get a poll set up about this one, because I do have to search for War, and while I'm talking about it, we could have the poll going. Oh, Zay, that's fair then.
I wouldn't be spoiling the movie, so if you care about spoilers, I suggest not watching the stream until after you watch the Mario movie. If you don't care about spoilers, then by all means, stay and learn more about the Mario movie.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But if you do care at all about, if you want to see it one day and you don't want spoilers, you're going to get them. In fact, here's the poll. It's basically, I could summarize this poll this way. I thought Bowser's character was treated amazingly, and they did a great job at balancing Bowser's traits. But I want to know, what did you think of Bowser's character in the movie? And I'm going to give you a few options.
Once the poll shows up for me, I'll choose my option and I'll elaborate on it.
Cool.
I know one of the things you said was that it balanced the goofy Bowser and the more terrifying evil Bowser very well.
Yep.
And I do agree with that a bit. I mentioned how I've heard some other people describe him. And I think that the way that they did Bowser is both faithful to Bowser's character while also being a unique interpretation of Bowser himself. It's like there's a distinct difference between movie Bowser and game Bowser, but it's still very obviously Bowser.
Yes, it is very, I agree with that. It is very obviously Bowser. And I did just make the poll general. Again, the unfortunate, I can only do like 4 options. So it's basically kind of a scale, you thought it was perfect, or, obviously anyone, you included, keep elaborating in chat or in VC here as to what things you thought. I'm going to sneeze. Uh-oh. Thank you. I'm okay. I'm okay. But, elaborate. My vote would be Perfecto Wonderful. And again, part of that goes to Jack Black. Did a great job, in my opinion. The voice was great. The singing scenes were great. Jack Black is a good voice actor and did well with it. I also think the writing was good, as I mentioned. The balance of character, the way that they had Bowser be both goofy and kind of incompetent in some ways. Like, for example, when the Koopa Troopa reports, Bowser, Mario has captured captivated the Kong army and they're on his side or whatever, and Bowser's reaction to that, leading the troop, should be something to prepare to accommodate the battle, including the fact that now we have to accommodate the Kong army too, and that's a bunch more numbers and they're tough fighters. But his reaction was instead, so like Peach was like totally impressed, which I thought was like hilariously incompetent and goofy and fits Bowser. But at the same time, the first scene is terrifying. Like, he's actually a threat. He's getting the Power Star. Of course, his plan with it is goofy. He just wants to marry Peach and like share the star with her, which is like crazy psycho thought to have. But it's like he's evil enough to get it, and he's going to sacrifice people at his wedding thinking that's a good thing. So he's like psycho evil, but also just goofy. And I love that. I love that they put that in the movie. I was worried at first I was worried with some of the trailers that it might just be scary Bowser and like, okay, this is going to be as evil as Bowser's ever been. He's actually going to be totally competent and very strategic and not let his own emotions cloud his judgment. But they didn't do that, and they didn't go the other way either, where he's just a bumbling fool and you're never actually scared in the movie because you know in the end Bowser's going to bungle it. You know Bowser's not going to win, but they made him a threat while still being goofy. I thought it was great. Thank you for the sneeze compliment, by the way.
By the way, I'm here now.
Oh, Nicholas! What is up, Nicholas? How's it going? We have Nicholas here now. Nicholas,
What's your opinion of Bowser, Nicholas?
Yeah.
My opinion of Bowser? I will say, I think Bowser's a great cast. I think Jack Black did a perfect job, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I like even the voice. It wasn't like cartoonishly deep or anything, but it was like he just and then when he sings, it's like I can actually believe that this song is coming out of Bowser.
I'm gonna be something kind of controversial though. So
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna say, I think Peaches is kind of cringe.
What?
Yes.
I can kind of understand where you're coming from. I didn't think it was particularly bad, but I can understand not enjoying it.
Don't get me wrong. The voice is great. I love the voice. Like, his voice is great. But eventually he's like, Peaches! Okay.
It did get dramatic. I will admit that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I feel like was. I feel like that was a creative choice by them to make it over the top. But you know, I could see that being a little cringy, but I did enjoy it. I still liked it. I liked the scene where Bowser like announced that he got the star to marry Peach, and everyone's like, "What?" And then he
superstar.
Yeah, and then
What if she says no?
burns the Koopa, turns into dry bones.
No.
That was great. Sorry, I'm also just posting a thing real quick, but it shouldn't take long. Fact. Wait.
Honestly, I feel like that specific scene, the "what if she says no" scene, perfectly encapsulates the balance between goofy Bowser and evil Bowser. Because burning someone alive is, you know, terrifying. But also, it was over someone saying, like, you know, what if she doesn't want to marry you? Like, it's funny, it's evil, it makes sense for Bowser, so it works really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it was well written. That was one of the, I think, examples of well-written humor in the movie, where it was like Mario-type humor, but it was spot on and not cringy or over the top and just very in character. And again, yeah, it wasn't a perfect movie, but there were enough moments like that. Like, even if it's something as simple as Luigi, when... and again, if you haven't played like Luigi's Mansion, maybe this doesn't mean anything to you, but when Luigi's going in that old mansion after running away from the dry bones and the flashlight is cutting out and he's tapping it, and it's like that view from the video game where it's like this, he's walking sideways and the flashlight turns to the camera. That was so sweet to me.
That's exactly what I thought it was Luigi's Mansion when I saw that.
Yep. So like, look.
Honestly, the scene in Darkland with just Luigi was very Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, it was.
You know what else it reminded me of? It reminded me of the reveal trailer for Simon Belmont for Smash Ultimate. A lot of the same things happened with Luigi kind of being scared and running away from all of these random things happening that he's not acquainted with. I would not be surprised if they kind of took inspiration from that reveal trailer for the Darkland scene. And if they did, that's perfect. It perfectly does Luigi's character and also shows off how he would react suddenly stumbled upon this scary new world.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also love the Kongs. We haven't really talked about the Kongs much, and I don't have a ton more time for this stream because of the war at 6, but the clan match. But I do think the Kongs deserve some mention. What did you guys just think, just open-ended in terms of how they did with the Kongs and the Kong Kingdom and, you know, Cranky, etc.?
I love that part, honestly. And I said it in the chat. I was like, you know, the part where they were like, take on. Like, that was, like, I love that part where they're just racing through the kingdom. Like, I think GM1 said that. It was like, it felt like it was more, that part was like a little more geared towards adults. So I was just like, I like that part, and also like also when they got involved with like the Mario Kart stuff, I like that. I just like that entire scene, honestly.
Yeah.
Dude, when they started doing the whole build your vehicle thing, and it was the main menu thing from Mario Kart 8, I was like, oh my goodness, it's the thing.
Yeah, that was sweet. That was so
I
sweet.
don't really think Mario Kart 8 is the best Mario Kart game, but even then I was just like, oh my god, they did the thing.
Yep. Yep, that was cool.
Happy. There was even like a Bitty Buggy cameo, and I was like, oh my god, that's the thing I used.
Yep, the Bitty Buggy was there. There was some snaking when Mario's trying to get away from the Crusher cart thing and the Ultra Mini Turbos and Super Mini Turbos and stuff. The animation there was really good. I loved the whole. Yeah, I agree. The whole karting thing with the Kongs on.
There was also amazing. It really, oozed Rainbow Road.
It did. They did a really good job with that. I want to see that track design come into the game. In fact, as we're, because again, I unfortunately do have to close out. Let me check my messages too. I gotta be on top of that stuff. But I still have like another 10 minutes probably. Let me just say this before I go Mega Muggz, and then it'll be closing thoughts. Like a 10 minutes of me time trialing and active discussion.
Muggz? You should do mini Muggz.
Isn't Mini Muggz just a normal camera?
Yes, basically.
That would be normal Muggz. Mini Muggz would be even smaller.
Oh, I see. Too small for even the border to accommodate.
Yeah, literally.
But I do have an interesting place I want to take this that I haven't heard many people talk about because since we had been talking about the Kongs into the karting scene, as you I assume remember, there was a scene where Princess Peach manually disengages the anti-gravity and manually engages the glider. And that
Yes, I saw that. Is that a hint for Mario Kart?
that's what I'm hoping. How sweet would that be if you could manually do that?
Wait, they're engaged the glider. I was like, because honestly, when Mario Kart 8 came out, or it was Mario Kart 8 or 7. When 7 came out, I used to think that you could just engage the glider whenever. Like, you could do whatever. That's what I thought, yeah.
How sweet would that be?
I saw it, I was like, no, this is what I used to think.
Like, picture even Excite Bike. If you go off the big bump, one of the big bumps or a boost ramp, and you're like, oh, there's someone throwing greens behind me, I need to stay in the air, you could manually engage your glider and hover around a bit.
That would be amazing.
The possibilities would be endless. And of course, they would have to be careful, but...
What if, like, this is a slight talk, but I don't know if you ever played, like, the Sonic All-Stars, like, racing games, but what if there was a mode where, like, you could, like, enable, like, I'm trying to make this make sense, but if you could enable, like, driving underwater, or maybe you could, like, go on top of the water.
Yeah!
Like a boat, if that makes sense.
Didn't Peach do that? They did that in the movie, right?
If that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, like you could. How sweet would that be if you could choose to go underwater? Maybe there's some coins, items down there or something, or just run on top of it. Maybe there's some hazards on top.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to avoid the jet skis or whatever. That, like, it could open up a whole new world, and even the anti-gravity disengagement. I think that one would be hard to implement because I would assume. Yeah, but most spots you would disengage would probably cause you to fall. However, if you could cleverly come up with ways to have anti-gravity, to do that and then drop into the glider in like a quick success.
Yeah,
that would be sweet. That would be sweet.
I could play like Mario Circuit though, because like you just
Right.
But yeah, I do see how that could work though.
It would take a lot of care, I guess, because Nintendo seems to be pretty stingy with shortcuts, and they don't want people cutting off half the map. And if you if you instill those, if they just went to Mario Kart Wii philosophy and then threw in those mechanics, and you could like get 6-second laps. I don't know. That would be fun to me. Maybe it wouldn't work. Maybe it would be too over the top, but I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I was just playing before I joined this. I was playing some Mark Lee hide and seek with some of my buddies, and I was just thinking. I was like, yeah, there's so many shortcuts you can take. It's like,
yep,
crazy.
Yeah, they really changed in that way, but I feel like they're heading back to the shortcut mentality with some of the new booster course tracks, and I feel like that could work well if you make a game with physics crafted that are consistently geared towards that. So.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
it is kind of embarrassing that the Mario movie did a better interpretation of anti-gravity than the actual Mario Kart 8, though.
Yeah.
Being able to disengage anti-gravity would have made it so much cooler of a concept, but now it, in its current form, it's just kind of like, now we're on the track, and there's very little difference.
Yep. It's like twisty looking a bit, but your camera still, it's not like your actual view gets upside down and then, I mean, I guess there's that feature where if you bump into someone in anti-gravity, you get that tiny boost, but that boost is so tiny anyway.
It's essentially a mini turbo.
Yeah.
It's fucking much.
Yeah, and it's just annoying.
It can put you behind that person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think if in the future the next Mario Kart game, I mean, at this point they're setting the bar pretty high in terms of quality for the next game. So I think that would be one way if you put manual engagement and disengagement on those features. That would be interesting to me. I would be there for it. Other than that, I'm trying to think if I have any other. Does anyone else have any other points that you want to get to before I go?
I'm trying to think. I was kind of disappointed that Luigi didn't get more screen time. I was thinking that since Luigi got captured, that would be like, oh, well, we're gonna, see more of Darkland and Bowser's Army and how that looks, right? And we did get that sort of perspective, but it was through Bowser and not through Luigi, and that kind of sucked.
Yep, that's true. Luigi did spend a lot of time in the prison cell too, which was a bummer. It was kind of like.
Don't get me wrong. I like that we had Bowser's perspective quite a bit, but at times it feels like Bowser had more screen time than Luigi.
Yep. Which
True.
yeah.
I wish we got more of Luigi. Like I see what they're trying to do, but I wish we got more of him.
Me too. I feel like he maybe in the next movie is when they'll delve deeper into him.
He got more screen time than Luigi did.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Mega Muggz, by the way. Here we go. Mega Muggz time. Now, by the way, if you're out there, you can clearly see my new art, the Super Mario Kart art. It's a little. I'll show it off one time here. It's a little.
Oh, I see it on the top right.
Yeah, there it is. Pretty cool. New addition to the room. And Jose, I do agree, Jose, that Kamek was awesome in the movie. I did enjoy Kamek. And Kamek, I feel, doesn't get a ton of time in the series these days, at least not that I've seen. But I enjoyed having Kamek in the film.
True, yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
I like the Super Mario Kart art, though. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. Chom actually found that. It was only $10 wherever she found it.
Bad.
It's not bad at all, so I'm pretty excited.
I would pay $10 for that.
It's a really good deal.
It's a very good deal. $9.99. Come on, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to both of you for.
Jan beat it. It was $4.99.
I must make an announcement for the end of the stream, though.
Yep. Yep.
Mushroom Gorge is a good track.
No. Nicholas, I would mute you if I wasn't so lazy. But I'm too lazy to do it. We're just going to have to agree to disagree. But thanks to you, Nicholas, and UUC for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
I maybe
We did get a Nick on the call.
we did a different Nick. Yeah.
I was doing something, so I wanted to make it in, but at least I was able to squeeze some time in for this.
Yep. I'm glad you got here. I
gotta join.
I want to know more of your thoughts later. Maybe I could do another one of these at some point because I do feel like it's we only got like an hour in and I have to go for 6.
Yeah,
But
that could work.
Yeah.
But I have a lot more thoughts about the movie. I did enjoy it in the end again, as I assume it seems both of you really did too.
I did.
Are there ways that I think it could have improved? Yes. Or do I have my hopes for how it heads in future films? Yes. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But in the end, I left the theater smiling, and that's a good feeling. So can't complain.
Too, yeah.
All right. Well, no Chompy today, by the way. I gotta get going pretty quickly. Actually, I got a bunch of things to get ready. So with that being said, I'm gonna head out. Thanks again to you two. Do you have any closing statement other than Mushroom Gorge statements?
I think that Bowser in the movie was very similar to Fury Bowser and Bowser's Fury, and I really like that kind of interpretation.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
At least from a motivation standpoint, because in Bowser's Fury, Bowser's just kind of mad.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess for me, I give the movie a 9 out of 10. I liked it.
9 out of 10.
It was very good.
That's a win in my book for Nintendo having not done one in 30 years. So, yeah. I would give it probably a 9 out of 10 at this point, too. Having digested it a bit, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I give it about a 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
Fair.
That's very solid. Yeah, that's fair.
Fair. Yeah, it was still, at the end of the day, a good movie. And we'll talk about it more later. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. With that being said, take care and bye-bye.